All right. I want to welcome to the program one of our favorite guests, Congressman Chip Roy, who is fresh off of the House floor. Jim Jordan obviously did not get the votes to become Speaker of the House this round. Can you tell us? I know I have a list. Bacon, Buck. I could go down the list. Garbarino, Gonzalez, Granger. Those two are from Texas. James, Kelly, Kiggins. Lawler, Rutherford, Spartz, Womack, Michael Simpson. There were several votes for McCarthy. There were several votes for Lee Zeldin, Scalise, one for Thomas Massey. What the hell is going on in the House, and are we going to get a new freaking speaker?
Yeah, well, Sarah, great to be on. I wish I was with you in Texas and we were visiting there rather than my being here in the swamp. But that's the nature of the job I signed up for, which tells you something about my existence. But look, what we saw unfold on the floor today is not all that surprising, except for this. Jim Jordan, the former chairman of the Freedom Caucus, strong conservative, came to Washington to change it, just got 200 votes out of the Republican conference for Speaker of the House. That is a monumental achievement. We are moving the needle. We are changing this town. But the actual war is not about Jim Jordan. This war has been going on and brewing for well over a decade, okay? We're in the era that came in with the Tea Party, that then came through cut, cap, and balance, try to cut spending, that then led to the formation of the Freedom Caucus after I was Ted Cruz's chief of staff, and we're here battling the Obamacare shutdown. Then Donald Trump coming in and taking on the swamp through multiple speakers. We've been having this battle for the soul of not just the country, but the Republican Party in order to save the country. That's what's really going on. And what you saw today with respect to the 20 who did not vote for Jim, and I've got friends in that group. I'm not disparaging them as humans, but someone's got to ask them the question now that they voted. What are you for? Mm-hmm. Are you for the status quo? Are you for $33 trillion of debt? Are you for wide open borders? Are you for a defense that is more woke than it is able to go carry out war making? Are you for empowering China? Are you for empowering the liberal elites with their ridiculous green agenda that's undermining our national security and empowering China? Are you for, undermining our ability to conduct wars in defense of this country while we just send over blank checks to Ukraine? Mm-hmm. I mean, I could keep going down the list. Are you for the status quo? And just notice that of the 20, 7 of them are appropriators. 4 of them are on the House Armed Services Committee. The people that think they run this town typically, traditionally, historically, have been appropriators and the defense complex. Mm-hmm. We're trying to break that. That's what's really going on.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like it's just a bunch of adults having a hissy fit, it feels like, especially when they're voting for people who aren't even running. It just seems like I say this often on the program, Congressman. Who needs enemies with friends like these? I mean, we are supposed to be able to come together when it matters. And it seems like whenever it actually matters, regardless of what you think of whether or not Matt Gaetz was right in what he did, regardless of that, we are here right now. So if we can't unify right now when it matters, why the hell did voters go out and make sure that Republicans were in charge of the House if Republicans in the House don't seem to want to wield that power?
Well, let me maybe put you at ease and some of your listeners at ease.
You can tell I'm pissed, so you're trying to calm me down. I appreciate that.
And you should be. You should be. So am I.
Yeah.
I've had a conversation with one of the more moderate members who's one of the 20 over the weekend. I'm not going to say who. It was a private conversation. But that individual said something that I agree with, which is when this is all over in a few weeks or a month or whenever we get this all sorted out, Americans are going to blow right past it. What they're going to be concerned about next year is whether or not we're fighting and delivering on reducing spending, pulling back on the power of the Biden administration, restoring our military, securing the border, standing with Israel, but not with blank checks for every foreign, entity around the world in the name of Israel, which is what they want to do by lumping Ukraine together with Israel. They want to see us fight. That's what this is all going to be about. So, we're going to get through this just like we got through January. And let me say this. We got a lot of great stuff done this year. H.R. 2 is the best border bill we've ever passed. Mm-hmm. The defense authorization bill is the best defense authorization bill we've ever passed. The 4 appropriations bills are actual cuts. We fought through and got them across the finish line. We got other good bills done. We've stood up for life. We've stood up for parents. We've stood up for a strong border. We have a Senate Democrats and a president that won't work with us. We have a thin majority, and we're exposing this family feud for the entire country to see. That's okay. We have the worst form of government except for all the others. Everybody stay calm and carry on. We have a job to do. I'm not backing down. We're going to change this town or bust. If my colleagues think they're going to roll over me or roll over Jim Jordan, they're out of their mind. If they somehow get Jim to, back off, I think Jim should carry this all the way through. We'll be next. We'll stand up and fight for change. We're not going to agree to more of the same.
So you think that there are enough of you who are standing up and saying, if this is a game of chicken, you're going to lose because we're not backing down?
Well, I can promise you that I'm not backing down, and I can promise you that my colleagues that stood up in January to change this place are not backing down. And if this group of 20 thinks that they're going to somehow, get us to back off in this false name of unity instead of unifying around actual purpose, unity for the sake of unity is stupid.
Right.
Unity to stand up to actually go fight for the American people who sent us here instead of fighting for defense contractors or to spend more money that we don't have or to fight for, some sort of, power that you want to retain. That's not going to get the job done. The American people sent us here to fight for them. We are supposed to be representing them. I work for my constituents. I work with my colleagues. There's a difference.
I heard that, and maybe you can confirm, I'm not sure, but I heard that there were the phones have been flooded in D.C. With people urging their leaders, their representatives, I should say rather, to vote for Jim Jordan, and that maybe perhaps that was some of the pressure that was applied that encouraged certain representatives to make the right choice, which was to, of course, elect Jim Jordan. Have you heard that at all?
Well, of course, people have been lighting up the phones, and they should. Every American should call your member of Congress and tell them who you think should be the Speaker of the House, and you should be questioning our votes. If you don't like my vote, you should call my office. If you like my vote, feel free to call my office. But the bottom line is, of course, you should let your voice be heard. But, some of my colleagues they're protesting a little much. I made some calls this weekend telling people, hey, back off until Jim has had the chance to go visit with his colleagues. Mm-hmm. Let's not prejudge this. Jim's trying to work his colleagues to see if we can come to agreement. I did that. I did it on behalf of some of my colleagues because they wanted time to talk to Jim. That's fair. But now you voted. So guess what? Your constituents have a voice. So suck it up, Gus.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Congressman, good to see you again. Jacob Boyens here. The two names for me that's most attractive in the speakership would be Jim Jordan and you. But you're such a fighter. You're an absolute pit bull for us, specifically on the border. I'd love to hear from you, for those who may be willing and dealing with Congressman Jordan on the back as he's heading towards speakership. My opinion is that he will stand firm, that he will not negotiate and back down from his pro-life, pro-America, pro-truth stance that we've seen him take.
Well, my view in life is past is prologue. And Jim Jordan has done a great job standing up. He helped found the Freedom Caucus. He was one of the leading voices in the cut, cap, and balance effort to restrain spending in 2011 when Barack Obama was still in the White House. He was one of the leading partners with Ted Cruz to fight Obamacare. And Lord knows, I wish we'd been successful on that one rather than letting it get implemented. He's been a fighter for life. He's been a fighter for the border. Under his leadership in the House Judiciary Committee, we passed the strongest border security bill we've ever passed. And I was proud to be a significant part of that. The bottom line is, I don't know what Jim's going to do. It's hard to manage a razor-thin majority with Chuck Schumer and Joe Biden on the other ends of the negotiating. But I know his heart, and I know what he's done in the past. And again, past his prologue, and I'd be proud to partner with him. But look, let me be clear. I'd be proud to hold him accountable, too, just as we're supposed to do.
Yeah. Congressman, I appreciate you taking the time today. I will leave you with this. Don't you think, it's just a random thought, don't you think it would be nice if we had someone else to vote for Senate other than John Cornyn?
Well, you're just setting me up for a nice little trap here. I'm focused on getting our speaker elected, and I will let everybody, figure out what they want to do going forward. But I got to focus on Jim Jordan today.
All right, fine. You're excused from answering that question today. I appreciate you. We'll talk soon.
All right. God bless, Sarah.
Thank you.
If you like that clip, there is plenty more where that came from. Click the link in the description below to subscribe to the News and Why It Matters YouTube channel to watch the full episode.